All right, welcome back, students. We've covered the topics of introduction to law. We've looked at properties law. We looked at law of contracts, and now we are going to cover the topic of torts. So the first four videos on the law of torts. We looked at the definition of what the word tort is. We looked at which category of law does the law of tort fall under, and then also we looked at the fact that the law of torts is defined in a specific way, and according to its definitions, the elements that you need to be proven to sue uh, in terms of the law of torts. Right now, we are going to look at, and then we covered negligence as an area of tort. All right, so we look at tort of negligence. Then, after negligence, there are special liability regimes. And under special liability regimes, you have occupiers liability, employers liability, product liability, and breach of statutory duty. All right, so then you have personal torts. Under personal torts, you have invasion of privacy, interference with person, and defamation. And then last, you have land torts, which is trespass to land and nuisance, and then excess under violence and fletcher. All right, let's go and look at the first under special liability regimes. The first topic we have there is occupier's liability. So occupier's liability basically means that an occupier's duty is to ensure premises are reasonably safe for people who enter or use the property. Yeah, people that may enter to the property, as the occupier of the property, you have to ensure that it's reasonably safe. So when it says reasonably safe, it means that in a property you cannot just leave out a machine gun on the property, yeah, or you cannot leave out a big knife on the part where people are going to work, or naked electric wirings. As occupier of the property, you have to ensure that your property is in well, or it's reasonably safe for people to come onto the property. So anyone that comes onto the property, and because of you failing the duty of care to ensure that your property is safe, and they get into an accident and they suffer injuries, you are liable to be sued for damages under occupiers liability. Because as occupiers of the property, the law places a duty of care to ensure that your property is reasonably safe. All right. So, classical example I've given you is a case of Wheat versus Leco, 1966 AC 552. This also draws from the various sort of examples that we've been looking at so far, in the fact that it concerns a pub that was owned by a company, and they hired a manager to manage the guest rooms. So one of the guest rooms, there was a stairs there, narrow stairs, and there was no light to sort of guide visitors to go up the stairs. The guy that was bringing the lawsuit with was trying to go in this room up the stairs, fell and suffered injuries. He brought an action against the different company and the manager. And the court held that yes, the manager was the company owned the property, but the manager was in control of the property. They were joint occupiers. As a result, the manager had the duty to put lights there, and the manager basically failed to honor that duty. So definition of an occupier is a person with sufficient degree of control over the premises. So in hotels that you go, in pubs, bars that you go, public places, basically the people that is in control of the place has to ensure that the place is reasonably safe for you to enjoy the property. Because if there's no sort of safety is not there, and they leave an hazard out and then use incur injuries, you can sue them on the basis of occupiers liability. Right. This is what happens in the UK. Now you may ask, what about in Papua New Guinea? What contextualize occupiers liability in Papua New Guinea? So in Papua New Guinea, we've enacted a specific law. It's called the Wrongs Miscellaneous Provisions Act. It's in your slide there. And if you look at part 12 of it, it says that the occupier has a duty of care, basically to all visitors that come onto his or her property. So when the occupier has the duty of care and occupiers liability, you have to ensure that the place is reasonably safe. If not, you are liable for damages. If people come onto your property and they suffer damages, you are going to be liable. All right. So, in terms of people coming onto your property, there are different categories of people. Firstly, those that have express permission to visit, like people that are invited, people want to come to business, people want to enjoy the facilities, they have the express permission to visit. Like when you have a party at your house, or party at a particular restaurant, and you invite people to come, they have express permission to visit. All right. Second are people that have implied permission to visit, and although they're not expressly invited, but because of the fact that they are sort of in the property, they've implied permission. So this is people like postmen and Uber Eats, people that come deliver food to your property. Although you have not invited them, they have come to drop the letter or drop food and stuff like that. And also, you have a duty to people that have a lawful right to come to your property. So police officers, firemen, etc. All right, thank you. In the next slide, we look at uh, what is the meaning of employer's liability. So it's funny, but the funny thing in law is uh, any person who also trespasses onto your property and suffers injury, they have the right to sue you because you have a duty of care to ensure that the property is safe. And if a trespasser comes onto your property and gets injured, you are liable for failing your occupier's duty. Thank you.